Hello students. So now we are going to solve few examples based on magnetically coupled circuits. In this example we have been asked to find the value of net impedance of the central mesh and then finding the impedance of the input mesh. So this is the central mesh and this is the input mesh. But since all these independent circuits are magnetically linked with each other, so the input impedance as well as the central impedance will not be same as we used to find it in uncoupled circuits or the circuits where there is no mutual coupling between the two inductors. So we first calculate the value of central impedance, and therefore we are first of all going to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in the central mesh. After having obtained the impedance of the central mesh, then we'll be trying to find the value of V1 by I1, which is nothing but the input impedance. So we are now considering to write the KVL equation of the central mesh. The current here is I2. The current in the left mesh is I1. Here it is I4 in the right mesh, and here it is I3 in the bottom mesh. There are mutual couplings M12, M34 and M56. Now before we apply Kirchhoff's voltage law, it is important to find the status of M or the mutual inductance, whether they are positive or negative. There is a thumb rule in order to determine the status of M. If the current through L2 is entering the dotted end, if current I1 is entering the dotted end through L1 and the mutual inductance between them is specified to be M12, then in that case M12 status is positive because both the currents I1 and I2 are entering the dotted end. So M12 is positive here. Similarly, if we check the status of M34, when we check the status of this M34, the current I3 is entering the dotted end, current I2 is also entering the dotted end through L3, and therefore M34 is positive. And last, determining the status of M56, where current I2 is entering the dotted end and current I4 is also entering the dotted end, and therefore M56 is positive. So fortunately all the mutual inductances between the coupled circuit is positive. So we first of all go on writing the equation for central mesh. So we start with R2. So first term is I2, then moving through L2 it is drop of j omega L2 I2, then moving through L3 it is drop of j omega L3 I3, moving through L5 it is j omega L5 I2. So up to this we have considered only these elements which are within this circuit, but we have not so far considered the mutual coupling. So next is to consider the mutual coupling. So the next term is j omega M12 I1 because the current through L1 is I1. Similarly M34 j omega I3 because it is belonging to the current which is flowing through L4. And lastly j omega M56 I4 because it is belonging to the current through the rightmost mesh. After having written this equation, we are arranging this, we are collecting the like terms, and then the equation is represented as specified in equation number 1. Now will be replacing the other terms of current I3, I4 and I1 in terms of I2. So next we go on applying Kirchhoff's voltage law in the bottom mesh where the current is I3. So we write in this fashion R4 I3, then j omega L4 I3, and now coming to this M34 term which is positive, so we write j omega M34 I2. Now I3 is represented in terms of I2. Now moving to the applying KVL in right mesh. This is the rightmost mesh which we are considering. So the current is here clockwise. So first term is I4 into I6, which is written here. The next term is j omega L6 I4 through L6, and now considering the effect of this mutual coupling M56, so it is j omega M56 into I2. Here also we represented I4 in terms of I2. Then applying KVL in the leftmost mesh, so it is I1 R1 which is written here, then L1 j omega I1 and j omega M1 to I2. So here I1 is again represented in terms of I2, and this term is then splitted into two parts, where the first term is this one V1 divided by R1 plus j omega L1, and the other term is minus j omega M1 to I2. Now whatever equations we wrote for all these individual meshes, that we are going to collect, and we are representing all the terms of I3, I1 and I4 in terms of I2, and then collecting the like terms. So finally we come to this equation where it has two parts. First term is associated with I2 and the other term is this one. The term which is associated with I2 is actually representing the impedance of the central mesh, whereas the term j omega M12 by R1 plus j omega L1 V1 is actually representing the effect of mutual coupling of central mesh onto the first mesh. It is also to be noted that the term j omega M12 by R1 plus j omega L1 is nothing but a ratio. So this is how we come to the end of calculating the central mesh impedance. Now coming to the input impedance is nothing but V1 by I1. I1 was already calculated in the previous set of equations, and then we put the value of I2 here in this form and solve this. So finally we get the value of input impedance in this form. So this is our impedance of the input mesh. Now coming to the second example. Now this is the second example where we have been asked to calculate the voltage across terminal pair AB. So these are terminal pair AB, and draw the equivalent circuit. Here the meaning of equivalent circuit is we don't want to represent these dots, which can be represented by some other mean, and thereby we would be able to know how dependent sources are coming into existence. So if we look at the circuit, the resistance of 40 ohm will not carry any current, and as far as the voltage AB is concerned, it is only the drop across 30 ohm, which will be calculated by finding the value of I2 and then multiplying it with 30. Now before applying Kirchhoff's voltage law, let us first of all find the status of M, whether it is positive or negative. There is a mutual reactance of J30 ohm in between these two inductors. This is first 50 ohm inductor, another 50 ohm inductor, The current I1 is entering the dotted end of this inductor, whereas the current I2, the assumed current I2 is also entering the dotted end, and therefore the status of M, the status of J30 is positive. Now we proceed further in applying KVL in loop 1. So this is the source. We'll be applying KVL in this loop in the clockwise direction. So 100 at an angle 0. This is voltage source, which will be equal to the voltage drop across 10 ohm, J50 ohm, and then 20 ohm. So in this fashion we are going to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. So 100 at an angle 0 degree is a source. Next is 10 ohm resistor, which will carry a drop of 10 into I1. Then J50 ohm will have a drop of J50 I1, and 20 ohm will have a drop equal to 20 into I1 minus I2, assuming that the magnitude of I1 is higher as compared to I2. Now we also need to consider the effect of this mutual coupling J30, as we discussed that the status of M is positive now. So J30 into I2, the current I2 will be written because the current through this J50 ohm is actually I2, and therefore this term J30 I2 is written over here. And finally we have rearranged this equation. We have rewritten this equation by collecting the terms of I1 and I2. In the similar manner, we are going to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in loop 2. Let me change the color of this highlighter. So now we are going to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law in this loop. So in this mesh, the current assumed is I2. So we first consider the current. We first of all consider the voltage drop through this 20 ohm. So assuming the current I2 is higher as compared to I1, its magnitude is higher as compared to I1. So we could write 20 I2 minus I1. Now next is J50 ohm, through which the current is I2. Then coming on to this 30 ohm resistor, it is I2 here. And then coming to the mutual coupling between the two inductors is J30 into I1. Why I1? Because the current is I1 and it is belonging to mesh 1. And then finally again we collect the terms of I1 and I2 together. Now when we solve this equation 1 and 2 using matrix method, we find the value of I2, and this is how we are calculating in the usual manner. Since we have been asked to find the value of AB, voltage across AB, we only need the value of I2. Students are also advised to find the value of I1. So VAB is nothing but the current I2 into 30 ohm. Why 30? Because 30 ohm is the resistance through which this current of 0.69019 at an angle 28.197 degrees ampere is going to flow. And this is how the voltage across VAB is found. Now another important question was, in order we have to replace the circuit, we have to replace the dot conventions using equivalent electrical circuit. Here we mean is to represent the circuit using some kind of dependent sources. Now if I consider this equation again, which we wrote earlier in the previous slide, if we consider this last term J30I2, so J30I2 is having plus sign, it means it is representing the voltage drop. This is written in the usual form by indicating voltage rise on left hand side and voltage drops on right hand side. Voltage drops on left hand side and voltage drops on right hand side. So this J30, which is indicating the drop, and therefore it is preferred that this sign would be positive and this sign would be negative. Now looking at the term J30I2, it is concluded that this is a voltage source but it is dependent on the current I2 which is belonging to some other mesh. So this is nothing but a current dependent voltage source. Similarly, if we look at the other equation, when we look at this equation, this term J30I1, which is on the voltage drop side, so the polarity would be from plus to minus as per the direction of this I2. So this is plus and this is minus. The voltage drop value is J30I1. So this is the voltage source or dependent voltage source, but which quantity is it is dependent on? It is actually dependent on the current which is belonging to mesh 1. So this is again nothing but a current dependent voltage source. So in this lecture we have studied how to deal with the magnetically coupled circuit, how to write Kirchhoff's voltage law, how to calculate different parameters, those are asked, and what is the physical significance of dependent sources. Thank you.